Hello guys, I'm back again, this time with an Exoprimal video. Now, the closed beta for this game came out a while ago. I had a chance to try it out, and I really wanted to say nice things about this. Unfortunately, I can't. There isn't that much good or nice things to say about a game that, shifted my perspective so much in such a short amount of time. Now, I'll explain all this further ahead. First of all, I want to show you what Exoprimal is. And when you start Exoprimal, you enter this company called Rivius that defends the world from dinosaur attacks. Now, you're not going to fight the dinosaurs themselves here, you're fighting the AI, the Leviathan that creates dinosaurs in order to prepare you to then for the real deal. The real deal is probably in the campaign, in the actual game when it comes out. For now, it isn't. So you create your character, and then you are given a full range of mechas that you can use to fight against dinosaurs. Now there's three types. There's the damage, or the all-rounders, then there's the tanks, and there's the support. Now, I'll talk about each one separately, so you get an idea of what each one of them can do. Now the first one that you get is the D.O.A, which is the black and red one. It's the most versatile. You have shooting and you have grenades, and that's it. He's basically a soldier, and you can use it to shoot down all the enemies, and the grenade is actually really powerful. Then you have Zephyr. Now Zephyr doesn't have a gun. It uses this blades in his elbows, and it's more like a ninja, so he has more melee, more of a melee-driven character with him, so you can go, one-on-one with his dinosaurs and actually do a lot of damage that way. Then you have Barrage. Barrage is kind of the explosive expert. He looks a little bit like Ghost Rider because his skull is on fire all the time, and he deals with explosives. He has a grenade launcher, and he deals with explosive weapons. He has a crossbow that fires 3 explosives to the ground, 3 grenades, and so he's really cool. He's more of a range. This one is really a range. It can't be too close, and you can just blow everything up, especially when there's a lot of aggro. He's really good for that. Then you have the Vigilante. Vigilante is the sniper. I don't know why it has a female form, but it's the only one I think that has it. No, it's not the only one, but one looks like a female form, and it's the sniper. You can use it at a long distance. She has a really long and powerful attack that can, defeat monsters at a long range, so she's really good for that. Then we have the tanks. The first tank that you have is Roadblock. Roadblock basically is another melee type. He has a big shield like Reinhardt, if you've ever played Overwatch, and he punches a lot, and he punches really good. He also has a taunt that attracts a lot of dinosaurs to him, which could be good if you put him in the front and it calls all the dinosaurs, and then you have a damage type like the D.O.A. Throw a grenade at it and it blows up everything. There is no self-damage, so he gets away with it. So he's really tanky in that way to stop hordes of enemies. Then you have Krieger. Krieger basically uses a machine gun, a really powerful Gatling gun that can destroy everything at a certain range. The Gatling gun itself is not very powerful, but a secondary attack is homing missiles. Now, homing missile doesn't work in the aggro, but in the big guys, I could be like the mid bosses of the big dinosaurs, it does have a lock-on feature, and it can do really good damage with that. But he has that middle range that he has to fight. He can't be too close. If it's too close, he starts to take a lot of damage. And then you have Murasame. Now Murasame, as the name implies, is taken from a samurai, and he is very powerful. He is a melee character to be at close range. He is kind of fast for his size, and he deals a great deal of damage. If he has a support with him, he can pretty much just tank everything, and his special is actually so useful that it can just clean an entire corridor of animals with one hit. So he's really powerful. He came to be the meta during this demo. I could sense that I think he was really good for that. He just moves, he's kind of slow. But other than that, he's really good in multiple occasions, at least as trying out the demo. Then you have the supports. Now the supports, you have the Witch Doctor. The Witch Doctor basically looks like a witch doctor. It looks like something like a Native American or Native African Witch Doctor, and his posture and his helmet look like that. and it's really good to create areas to heal. You can heal at another Exoprimal with just one touch, so it's really good for that. Then you have Sonic Wave. Sonic Wave reminds again of Mercy from Overwatch because she can fly and deal damage from the top and healing from the top. Basically, the shot does healing, but it also does a little bit of interference, so confuses the enemy. And then lastly you have Nimbus. Nimbus is Exoprimal that goes around in roller skates. The great advantage of Nimbus is that she can switch between healing or damage. She can have both roles, and she has an attack that pulls out a lot of guns and does a lot of shooting, so this can be good in saving the squad from dying, or maybe dealing damage to aggro, which is also really useful. So this is a generic view of all the Exoprimals that you have. I feel this could be a little bit like Warframe, you know, you have one for each task, and you can switch them at any time, which is something Warframe doesn't have. Instead of having a designed role for each one, for doing the mission, you can swap them at any time. You know, if you need healing, you can swap to support to help out a tank. If you need a tank to stop a horde of enemies, you can do that. So yeah, that effect is really good, and it's really fun doing gameplay against the aggro. Now, the mission structure is very simple. There's each mission that we try here in Dino Survival is separated between two parts. The first part was kind of a race to see how much damage you can do, how fast you can do it, which is you go into a space and there's a prompt at the top that tells you what type of dinosaur you need to kill in one quantity you have to kill, maybe 100 aggro dinosaurs, maybe some pterodactyls, maybe 6 of those, I don't know what they call it, but the dinosaurs that explode, so you need to be careful with that because if they explode near to you, they do a lot of damage. So there's the first part, and there's 6 stages to that, so while you're doing that, another team is doing the same, and you have to maybe do it faster and try and catch up with them, or maybe you could just swim them if you're a really good team, or you already know what the stages are. This is also very optimal. And on the second part, you fight the other team. And this is where it lost a lot of traction. I mean, this game basically turns into a PvP. Now, they say it's a PvE-VP kind of game. People that, you know, follow the game for a long time were eager to try it out thinking it was PvE. Then they came out here and they found out it's PvP, which doesn't really work. Now, I'm explaining to you why, because this is a long explanation. Now, first of all, you have objectives doing the second part. Now, the first one that I tried was gathering some energy. You have to gather these things of energy that are on the set. Another one is to protect your payload. And the last one was to overload a hammer. Now, you have to kill enemies to load up your hammer. Then you go to a certain place, you hit the hammer, and you pass to the other level. Now, this all seemed fine if they were just PvE. The problem is that there's another team competing with you. They not only compete with you, but they can actually attack you. And for instance, gathering energy, for each energy that you gather, you gain 1. But for each enemy that you kill, you gain 3. So right off the bat, once I get there, I started, first of all, I couldn't see anything. Let me just start like this. You can't see anything. The UI is super hard to read. It got to a point that I really just had to shut down everything on screen so I could just see my friends and my enemies and just do that. Because there was so much clutter, so many particle effects, so much motion blur that I couldn't really tell anything. That's why I couldn't find any energy packs, because the set has this blue interference and the characters are also blue, so I couldn't really see anything. And then there's the first part that I talked about. I mean, it pays off more to kill enemies than to gather characters. So while some of our team, the part of our team was trying to gather characters, the other team was just killing us, and they absolutely destroyed us. I mean, they won by a big margin because they were doing what the match actually said it to be, which is to gather as much characters that you can. So right off there, I wasn't enjoying that experience because, you know, there's something people have to realize. People that do PvP can do PvE very well. Now, people that do PvE will struggle to do PvP. It's a completely different mindset. One is, you know, you're fighting for an objective. The other one is you're fighting another person. You have to, you know where it spawns, how much damage it takes, where can I gather energy, or where can I save myself, or where ultimate. There's a completely different mindset, and I think most people that were trying the demo were going for the PvE kind of scene, and then they were landing on PvP, and they just had to go with it. Now, I'll be honest with you. I just played the game for like 15 hours, and I only played it because it was free. It was a closed beta. I was just trying it out. If I had to pay for this game, I just would not. I would not pay for this game. And I think this game will struggle because of it. Because you have to give out 60 bucks or 70 bucks to play the game. You have to always be online to play it. You can just go and do whatever you want. And then you always have PvP. One of the things that I started to realize is maybe they will have two modes. If they have two modes, one PvE and PvP, maybe that'll be cool. Because you can switch your Exoprimal at any time, you maybe could do a solo, but I did not heard anyone say that you can do this solo, especially because you have PvP, so you have always at least one enemy you will always have, which really determines the entire purpose of the game. When people saw the trailer, and I was one including, this reminded us of Earth Defense Force, which is that Japanese game where you fight a lot of bugs, you just shoot them and everything explodes, and it's a lot of fun. And everybody was like, okay, they're gonna imitate that, but with dinosaurs. But it wasn't that. Furthermore, the game had a lot and lots of other problems. First of all, melee doesn't have auto fire. Now, while you're playing with an Exoprimal, you with a shotgun or a sniper rifle or something like that, you do have auto fire. You can just press the trigger and it'll fire continuously. Not with melee. In melee, you have to press it a lot of times, which I don't think it makes a lot of sense. I mean, if you have a rifle that has auto fire, I mean, the melee button should have auto fire itself, so you don't have to spam the R2, especially because you can change the key bindings. Maybe they'll be able to change it when the game comes out, because Overwatch has the key bindings for each hero, but I don't know. I did not enjoy that. The dinosaurs were hard to distinguish, especially at night, because environmental lighting is so good that you can't see. You know, you see these things moving, but you can't really distinguish where they are. You have to always look at the map. There was this signal saying work in progress. These signals are yellow, and your objective markers are also yellow. It creates a real problem just knowing where to go. The navigation console, has a little yellow dot, and the yellow dot gets lost between all those yellow signs. There's too much red static by the end when you're dying or the match is finishing. Everything becomes with this matrix effect. This matrix effect is absolutely the worst, no matter what color it is. If it's blue, you can't see cartridges, you can't see your friends, you can't see anything. If it's red, you can't see the enemies because the enemies have the color red. If it's yellow, you can't see objective markers, and you can't see the sign that said work in progress, which means that you cannot pass to that level. So that matrix effect, I tried to turn it off, but I couldn't see what it was, so I just turned it off everything. But it creates a lot of problems. The missions end up taking too long. Some of the things that I recorded have allowed like between 20 and 30 minutes, which is a long time. I mean, just to give you an idea, 20 minutes is how much time I take to complete a daily on Warframe, and with 20 minutes you can do like 5 dailies on Genshin. So you get a lot more value for your time playing those, which are free to play, by the way, instead of playing this one, which is in one mission you get 30 minutes and you may end up losing at the end. And then one thing that really jumps out to you, this is the dinosaur game. Capcom has done Monster Hunter, it has done Dino Crisis, and the dinosaurs are just so generic. They're just, I mean, some of them have a different color, and they have the little sparks on them, or maybe a bubble on their back, but that's it. I mean, I was expecting to see dinosaurs of really different design, different colors even. I mean, the Triceratops that appears and the T-Rex that we use is just one color. It looks like they just brought the model from some site. The model is brown and it's in the game, and that's it. There's no color variation. There's no some different thing about the horns or some feathers. You know, they could have just innovated a little bit the design just to make it look like, okay, it's not exactly dinosaurs. It's better than dinosaurs. But no, they didn't do that. So yeah, all these things combined wouldn't be an issue if the game just didn't shift perspectives as much as it did. I mean, most people went from hypeness to total aversion because of this, because the game looked like it would be PvE. I mean, even the mission description says PvE, and then it has 5v5, which makes absolutely no sense. I know there's one mission that I don't have footage of, where the entire player base, 5 from each side, can fight one gigantic dinosaur. Maybe do more of that. Maybe do a giant pterodactyl. Maybe have just that at the end instead of having PvP, or at least have the PvP side be optional. Because as is, people are just gonna flee from the game. Because I mean, it's so frustrating. One of the things that happened was, because me and my brother were playing together. We were more PvE focused. We were trying to protect the payload from getting to one locations, and got to the location first. And we thought, well, the 5 of us at the payload would make it go faster, or to make it charge faster, because we were thinking about Overwatch, where you can drive the payload, and that works there. But here it wasn't exactly like that, because once we got the payload in place and we were there, man, we said, man, even if we died, as long as one of us stayed there, that we were like 80% to 60%. So we were like, oh, we can just do this at the end because we're so further ahead of them. But the other side was a PvP squad, and all they did was turn everybody into a damage dealer, and they totally destroyed the cube, and then destroyed everybody that's coming near it, and that's it. That was endgame, and it was like, this game is just gonna fail. This game is gonna fail. This game will not have enough people to do this. And we have the experience on Spacelords to prove that this doesn't work. Now, if you haven't been with me for a long time, I will tell you right now, I've been playing Spacelords, a PvE game that came out years ago, and it's absolutely dead because of this. Because it's really complicated to combine PvE with PvP in the same game mode. So what you end up is, people that played PvE got annoyed they had to do PvP. People that played PvP got annoyed that they had to do PvE. And the game is basically that. The game was still active like 7 months ago, but right now if you go to PlayStation Store, it's not even there anymore. So I pretty much say with full confidence that the game died. And it died because they didn't listen to the player base. They didn't want to separate, or the PvP, PvE side to be separate. They would just ban you from the Discord. And that was it. The game just died. And I fear this game will be the same. I fear this game, once it comes out, it'll be dead on arrival, because they will not compromise one or the other. They will try to please for both sides, and they will fail both sides. But just my opinion. I want to hear your opinion about this game if you tried out the beta. I want to hear your opinion about PvE and PvP, and can it be combined, PvE and PvP? Let me know in the comment section. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. And as always, have a great game, guys.
The perpetual war game. Explore your potential in vigorous lethal interface with dinosaurs and your fellow exofighters alike. I require the best possible combat data in order to develop the best possible exosuit. Do your part, survive the war game, and generate robust combat data. Deep learning in progress. Threat level rising. Research subject exofighters. War game transitioning to infinite repetition. Humans. Fight and die for me.